Hey, welcome back to Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids, brought to you by Ghost City Tours, the #1 ghost tour company in all of the world. Go to ghostcitytours.com to take a ghost tour in a city near you. We, of course, are based out of the New Orleans area. We got tours here. We got a few great tours you can come for all ages, for adults only. We got pub crawls, ghostcitytours.com. But we're not talking about ghost tours today, Paul. We're talking about Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids of Madisonville, Louisiana.
Yes, indeed. Madisonville,
The Mad.
it's called.
The Madville.
Yes.
Never heard of that, ever be called that before.
Well, we're here in Madisonville, which is a very bougie town, and even by North Shore standards. Interesting tidbit about Madisonville. When the North took over New Orleans during the Civil War, anyone who was a New Orleanian who refused to swear an oath to the Union would get deported, and they would send them to Madisonville. And that's how the North Shore came to be.
Ah, so it's just a bunch of Yankee rejects?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. Well, we're sitting here at a boat launch right as the Tchefuncte River meets Lake Pontchartrain. Two words that if you're not from Louisiana, if you saw it on a piece of paper, you would not know how to spell it. But on the other side of Lake Pontchartrain, of course, is the great city of New Orleans. But like Paul said, we're in Madisonville, and today's creep comes, there's a ghost story that I actually did not know about until this morning.
Yeah, I found out about it this past weekend. I took my kids to a museum over here, the Madisonville Museum. It's only open on Saturday from like noon to 2.
Nice.
So it's a very difficult place to get to. But if you can get there, there's a display for our, this week's creep, which is the Silk Lady.
Ooh.
So the Silk Lady is a Madisonville ghost. She is said to have long white hair and long fingers, long fingernails. She's sometimes seen floating above the water. Sometimes she's seen on a horse. And she's almost always seen right before sundown. She lets out kind of a cackling laugh before she disappears. She's been seen basically all the way back to the 1800s. Nobody really knows where she came from. But a lot of people over the years have had different experiences with her. There was a famous artist who painted a painting of her, which we'll throw up, I'm sure, the edit. That's what it looks like. Also, a former mayor of Madisonville had an encounter with the Silk Lady when he was a young boy.
Oh.
And then most recently, she was cited in 2020. An out-of-town visitor who had no knowledge whatsoever of the Silk Lady claimed that she saw her floating around here in this charming river town.
Really? Who did she report that to?
The local ghost people? I don't know. This is just, I'm going off of what it said in the little museum. There's a little display in the museum. There's like a mannequin with a sheet over it meant to represent the Silk Lady.
You know. She was an out-of-towner? Did she come in for like the Wooden Boat Festival or something?
Maybe. I mean, maybe she just wanted to go to Two Rivers.
Although it was 2020, so maybe everything was kind of probably shut down.
Maybe she just want to look at the water.
Yeah, who wouldn't? I mean, we're looking around here like, where should we shoot this today? Paul just takes off his shoes and puts his tootsies in the water, and here we are.
Tootsie time, dude.
It is tootsie time.
That's for Tyler.
So, this spirit,
Yes.
is there any idea of like who she was beforehand?
I mean, I'm sure she was a lady, because in the 1800s, that was generally how you started and ended life. If you were a lady or a man, you started and ended life with that. But she rides a horse sometimes, so maybe she was a horse lady. I don't really know. Nobody really knows who she is or what she is, other than that people see her out here on this road, supposedly.
Yeah, well, the road was actually quite difficult to get to. We had a lot of rain the past few days here, and thought my truck was going to get stuck in the water, but we made it through. Maybe it was the Silk Ghost Lady.
Maybe it was the alligators that ran over.
There was an alligator that ran right past us, right in the middle of the road. It was underwater. Couldn't see it at first. But he made it out alive. No alligators were hurt in the filming of this Creeps, Crimes, and Cryptids.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the Silk Lady. It's in Madisonville, Louisiana. Madisonville's a cool little town. If you're visiting the New Orleans area and you want to pop by Madisonville, there's seafood restaurants, and a river.
Yeah, it's a great place to go walk down the river. They, sometimes have live music out here. Of course, I mentioned the Wooden Boat Festival. I'm pretty sure that's still going. If it's not, sorry, I forgot that or didn't know. But like you said, yeah, come down the causeway, come hang out in Madisonville, go to that. What's the name of the museum? There's the Madisonville Museum.
Madisonville Museum. There's also the Madisonville Maritime Museum, which is objectively better than the Madisonville Museum. It's also open a lot more. A lot of stuff about boats there. If you're interested in boats, You can actually go to the Madisonville Maritime Museum and you can take a class to build your own wooden boat.
Yeah.
None of this has anything to do with the Silk Lady, but I really don't know anything about her other than what I read on a placard in a museum on Saturday.
How many like tiny little museums that are only opening for 2 hours a week also probably have some sort of local lore to them about a ghost that no one can explain across the country?
Oh, across the country. I was going to say in Louisiana, probably most museums that are only open for 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, across the country, I don't know. You know, this is going to be a terrible episode.
Yeah, they're all on.
That's fine.
But if you don't want to watch this, but you find yourself in a city where Ghost City Tours operates, you should go do that. Go on a tour. Of course, like we said, we're based out of the New Orleans area. We're in Madisonville. It's just from here. If you want to come try and find the Silk Lady, you could scoot on over to about 45 minutes from downtown New Orleans. But if you're in New Orleans, you're staying there, go on a Ghost City tour. We've got the Haunted Bitches tour. Bad Bitches tour, excuse me. We've got the Haunted
Pub Crawl, we got the Ghost New Orleans, all kind of ghost tours down there in New Orleans and across the United States and soon the world.
GhostCityTours.com. All right, let's get on with the show. So, what is creepy about Madisonville, Louisiana?
I already did that.
Paul, what was a crime that happened here?
All right, well, I'll tell you some crimes about Madisonville. For one thing, there's all these rich assholes who just destroy everything beautiful and build these McMansions that fucking suck out here. I absolutely hate that. I'm sure they're all guilty of money laundering and other heinous crimes against humanity because they're all a bunch of Epstein adjacent asshats. But that's not the crime we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to go on a rant about how much I hate those fucking assholes.
I like them.
Anyway, I hate rich people. That's not important. Crime for today. So, in that Madisonville Museum, the Madisonville Museum is actually pretty cool if you can manage to get there in that 2-hour time slot. Because what it is downstairs is actually the old Madisonville Jail. So as I mentioned earlier, Madisonville really kind of came into its own during the Civil War because people would get deported here if they, weren't loyal to the Union when the Union took back over the city of New Orleans, because this was still technically part of the Confederacy, right? They would put them on a boat across Lake Pontchartrain and ship them up here to Madisonville, right? So you had a bunch of like Confederate sympathizers coming up here, and they were some rough and rowdy people, especially coming from New Orleans in the 1800s. New Orleans in the 1800s had a lot of brothels, a lot of bars, a lot of things, even worse than it is today. So they had to build this jail in the 1800s to house primarily drunks, was the big issue. So they would have, basically, if somebody, got too liquored up, they would have them sleep it off in this 6-cell jail. And the jail is still there. It's in the Madisonville Museum. You can go and see it. All the jail cells are open. You can go and lay on a cot if you want to. The kids got a big kick out of it. It was kind of fun. That's neither here nor there. So this old jail, right? It's there. They built it in the 1800s primarily for drunks, and they had a real problem with drunk women, apparently. Because people like when the ladies got liquored up in the 1800s down here in Louisiana, so they would throw them in the pokey. The old pokey there.
No.
That's a term for the jail.
Oh. Like you meant like a pokey.
Oh, no. They didn't have those in the 1800s.
No.
They didn't have poles.
Sure, they had poles.
No.
Oh.
Poop had to be eaten off a plate.
Interesting.
The whole thing.
The more you know.
Anyway, so they put these drunk ladies in there. Apparently one night, the jail was filled with these drunk broads, and they were getting real ornery, real lippy, might say. And the jailer got a little upset, started saying, hey, you lippy ladies, pipe down. Well, wouldn't you know it, the lippy ladies didn't take too kindly to this, having been fairly liquored up. A couple of lippy ladies. That's a tongue twister. Anyway, so they decided they were going to break out of their cell and proceed to beat the ever-loving piss out of the jailer. So just imagine it. It's the late 1800s. There's 6 hammered broads just beating the piss out of a man in a jail. Sadly, this story ends tragically because the jailer died the next day, but still a little funny.
Some guys would be into that.
Anyway, so that's our crime of the lippy drunk broads beating up the jailer.
Well, we don't only just do tours in New Orleans, Paul.
No, we don't.
We do tours throughout the entire country of the United States and eventually the world. For right now, you can go do tours in St. Augustine, Florida. You can do tours in Austin, Texas. You can go do tours in Flagstaff, Arizona. Of course, you can do tours here in New Orleans. You can find out all the tours that we do at GhostCityTours.com, the #1 ghost tour company in the world. Find the best ghost tour near you. They're not these sensational ghost tours. They try and scare you. It's really rooted in history. We try to honor the dead and those that these stories are about, and the history and the culture of these cities and these towns of which we do tours in. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's great for the whole family. Sometimes some are adults only. GhostCityTours.com. What's your favorite city we do tours in, Paul?
Oh, Topeka. Love a Topeka tour.
You do tours in Topeka?
We do. You know, they're exclusive. You have to book it direct. Topeka.
GhostCityTours.com. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, we took a little break to allow some gentlemen to take their boats out of the water. Some went fishing this morning. Some went to go lay out some crab traps. It's beautiful out here in coastal life, you know?
You ever catch crabs?
I'm not answering that question because you're going to twist it and make it dirty.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just asking if you ever gone, out to sea, and then come back with crabs.
Yeah, actually, about a mile that way. Caught some crabs out there.
Did a little clam diving out there, maybe?
Caught some crabs in Mississippi at our camp, which our last episode was at.
A lot of crabs in Mississippi.
Yeah, a lot of crabs. But we're not talking about crabs. We're talking about a very unique cryptid.
Herpes.
No, it's called the Letiche. It is indigenous to kind of this area of South Louisiana, the North Shore, Covington, Madisonville, Mandeville area. And urban legend goes it's kind of like a half gator, half man type creature, right? And it's one of two ways that it becomes this. It's either a lot of Catholic influence in a lot of our stories here in South Louisiana, and so they say that if a baby wasn't baptized, then it kind of went off on its own and cultivated into this weird half sea, half man creature due to the not being baptized. I see. But the more fun one, is that there was also involving a baby, but legend says that a baby was abandoned and was raised by alligators, and then by doing so, it then was able to grow to be about 7 feet tall, and would pull people walking at night into the water. With I think it might have had either alligator hands or at least enough opposable thumbs.
7 foot tall fella there. That's a big boy.
It is a big boy. The Letiche did not know we had any sort of like alligator type cryptid. Okay, we got the Rougarou.
Yeah.
We got the Honey Island Swamp Monster that's coming up soon.
Alligator.
Got the Cowgator, which my grandfather just made up. But the Letiche. I didn't even know that it was indigenous to our area. See, this is the beauty about this show, Here's Crimes and Cryptids, Paul. We learn something about our own hometown.
Learning every day.
Every day.
So people are just abandoning their kids in the swamp.
Allegedly.
And then the alligators, instead of eating said children, are raising them.
Right. Well, I think maybe someone did like a Moses type thing. You put the baby in like a basket and then just like push it down the Tchefuncte River.
I see. And then the alligators
stopped it,
Yeah, as alligators are wone to do.
Yeah.
Come across.
Yeah, cold-blooded creatures,
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice of the alligators. I mean, I saw Princess and the Frog. That had a nice alligator in it, right?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't really pay attention.
Do you ever pay attention to the movies that you watch with the kids? Has there been one that's been like, actually, that was good?
Yeah. But that's like, I showed my 5-year-old Deliverance. I just wanted him to get a taste of what
the real world?
Real world, Try to show them the real world. It's hard to find.
Yeah, it's the show was on the TV.
Yeah, MTV's the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we could be on a boat right now.
Next episode.
Ooh, next episode, we're going to take it on the water, not in a canoe.
Yeah.
A big boy boat.
Real one. Motor.
Yeah.
A little motorboat.
Dude, the crabs and motorboating. Sounds like a Tuesday to me. Well, guys, if you are somehow still watching and listening to this show, we appreciate you. We're trying to get out and about. Of course, we're kind of bound to right now just the South Louisiana area. But as we travel more for maybe going to some of these cities and we can do tours in, the idea is to kind of showcase some of these cities in different ways and not just be bound to the studio. So if you're an audio listener only, I do apologize. But of course, we are on YouTube. We got clips as well on social media. Follow us, Ghost City Tours on Facebook and Instagram. Go take a tour, GhostCityTours.com. And let us know if there's we'll do a studio episode. If there's like a specific city that we just can't get to, maybe it's in Canada, maybe it's in Australia, down under. Let us know. We'll try and do a deep dive on Wikipedia and ChatGPT and see what we can come up with to give you guys some little entertainment. These episodes aren't long. It'll be a nice little commute to work for you. But until then, you have anything else to say about Madisonville, Paul?
No, but you know about the Emu Wars?
The what?
The Emu Wars.
Emu.
Australia. Yeah, back in I think it was in the 70s. There was too many emus in Australia.
Yeah.
So the Australian government deployed the army to fight the emus.
Ooh,
So they took a bunch of 50 cows and were just mowing emus down.
that's sick.
But the emus overran them.
Oh, that's
There's so many fucking emus
That's
in
way-
Australia. The Aborigines didn't fare that well. But the emus did.
Sheesh. The hogs in Texas.
Hey, got it right.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, follow us, GhostCityTours.com.